Hello mathematicians. Today we're going to be learning about whole numbers, more specifically how to divide by two-digit numbers. In this video, once we divide, we will get a remainder, but we'll also learn how to write our remainder as a fraction. So, to get us started, we have 75 divided by 29. And we're going to set this up using long division. 75 is our dividend, so that goes on the inside. And 29 is our divisor, so that goes on the outside. Once we've set that up, we're going to see how many times 29 goes into our first digit. So 29 does not go into 7 because 29 times 0 is equal to 0. And 29 times 1 is 29, and that's way too large. So with that being said, we're then going to see how many times 29 goes into 75. And 29 goes into 75 two whole times. And that's because 29 times 2 is equal to 58. And then 29 times 3 would be way too large, so we're going to stick with 29 times 2. And then we're going to write our 58 here, and we're going to subtract our two values to see what we have left over. So 75 minus 58 is equal to 17. So now we know that 29 goes into 75 two whole times, and we have a remainder of 17. So to write this out, we're going to start off with how many entire times 29 could go into 75, which is 2. That's going to be our whole number and our mixed number, and then we're going to set up our fraction. And so we know that 17 is our remainder, so our remainder is going to be our numerator. And then we're going to take our divisor, which is 29, and our divisor is always going to be our denominator. So 2 is our whole number because 29 goes into 75 two whole times. We have a remainder of 17. Our remainder will always be in the numerator. And then it's out of 29 because we're dividing by 29. All right? So 75 divided by 29 is equal to 2 and 17 out of 29. If we were able to simplify this, we would, but in this case, we cannot. So on to our next example. We have 494 divided by 52. And again, we're going to set this up using long division. So 494 is our dividend, so that goes on the inside. And 52 is our divisor, so that will always go on the outside. We're going to see how many times 52 goes into 4. And, well, it doesn't. So we're going to see how many times 52 goes into 49. And it doesn't either because 52 times 0 is 0. And 52 times 1 is 52, and that's way too large. So we're going to see how many times 52 goes into 494. And 52 goes into 494 9 times. And that's because 52 times 9 is equal to 468. So we're going to write that down. And then we're going to take these two values and we're going to subtract them to see what's left over. So once we subtract them, we get a remainder of 26. And now what we're going to do is we're going to write this out as a mixed number. So 52 goes into 494 9 whole times, so that's going to be our whole number. And then we have a remainder of 26, so that's going to be our numerator. And then it's out of 52, our divisor's 52, so that's going to be our denominator. And so now that we're done here, first we're going to see if we could simplify. And in this case, we can. And that's because 26 goes into 26 and 52. So we're going to take our numerator and divide it by 26. And whatever we do to our numerator, we also have to do to our denominator. Once we divide, we get a half because 26 divided by 26 is 1. And 52 divided by 26 is equal to 2. So 494 divided by 52 is equal to 9.5 after we've simplified our fraction. All right? So if we're able to simplify, please make sure that you do. And now we're going to do our final example, which is 4,032 divided by 83. We're going to set this up using long division, and 4,032 is our dividend, so that goes on the inside, and 83 is our divisor, so that goes on the outside. First, we're going to see how many times 83 goes into 4, and, well, it doesn't. Then we're going to see how many times 83 goes into 40, and again, 83 times 0 is 0, 83 times 1 is 83, and that's way too large. So we're going to see how many times does 83 go into 403. And that's going to be 4 times. And that's because 83 times 4 is equal to 332. If we multiplied it by 5, it would be too large. So we're going to stick with this and subtract our values. All right. So 403 minus 332 is equal to 71. Then we're going to bring down our 2, and then we're going to see how many times does 83 go into 712. And that would be 8 times, because 83 times 8 is equal to 664. And we're going to subtract these values to see what we have left over, which is 48. So we're going to start off with how many whole times can 83 go into 4,032, which is 48. And then we're going to get our remainder, which is 48 as well. And then our divisor, which is 83, will be our denominator. And here we have 4,032 divided by 83 is equal to 48 and 48 out of 83. All right? And that's it for dividing by 2-digit numbers with a remainder and writing it out as a fraction.